where we give you an audio-visual radio experience that you can count on anytime, any day. It's a Wednesday. I said that before, just reiterating it, because today being a Wednesday, there's something really going on. Talking about Nigeria experiencing a change, Nigeria experiencing a sense of awareness, Nigeria coming to the place of saying that, hey, all things should pass away, and that there should be a new discourse coming on the table of conversationalists and saying that this is how we need to chart the future. Now is the time, not yesterday, because the future only beacons only when today, in the present, there has been some very tremendous conscious effort in seeing to it that that future is secure. And that's why quite a number of persons have had concerns about where Nigeria is leading presently. That's why we are concerned as even media personalities, we are concerned as stakeholders, we are concerned as civil society organizations, we are concerned as to where the trajectory of Nigeria is going. Hence, we'll be looking into matters that concern a coalition of civil society groups in Nigeria who have come together to saying that, hey, we will become that voice of renaissance, right? To speak truth to power, to speak truth to the ills of the society, and uniting our voice in sensationalism and ensuring that we are heard, making up for anything to safeguard the life of a Nigerian. Who is in the studio? He is in the person of Dr. P.
The station. It's right. My favorite station.
Awesome. Now this is good. Feels good. So we'll ring about that one. Dr. Peter Piper. Yeah. I mean, there is a matter of disturbance that's going on in the country. Well, we do understand that there is corruption, but let's leave that out at this point in time. Let's tackle the matters that concern how we see ourselves and how other people of the world see us, and whether or not we deserve to be treated as humans or deserve to be treated inhumanely. I mean, there's a matter that's going on. I mean, if I understand correctly, there has been there's a protest, so to speak, a peaceful protest, so to speak, that is going as we speak right now.
Right now, there's a massive protest going on
and basically,
this very minute.
Basically,
in our hearts and house, in the air and right on the streets, and right now we are headed straight to the police headquarters.
Talk to us about what this process hinges on. What is primarily the issue about this protest?
Well, first let me begin by explaining we are civilians living in societies in our own country. We are not foreigners. We are not strangers. So when you talk about the civil society, you're talking about that critical demography of people that a country cannot do or live without. So if you say we are in a democracy, a government of the people, that means it's a government coming from the civil society for the people. It is a government meant for the society by the people. It must be a government that is dictated as well by the people. So right now there is growing tension. When you talk about corruption in Nigeria, it is institutional. Please don't trivialize this issue by always pointing your fingers at individuals and saying if we get rid of you, and you, then corruption will stop. And stop trivializing this issue by saying if you vote one particular candidate, then corruption and bad governance will stop. No, these things are they are systemic. They have become institutions. Today we are focusing on two critical areas, but it all arises from what we project as Nigerians. Who is a Nigerian? How do we sell the Nigerian story? What have we been projecting Nigerians to be? This is why small countries countries that do not equate to the GDP of a local government area in Nigeria can arbitrarily harass our citizens, lock them up, detain them, seize their Nigerian passport, and all of this is happening within Nigeria, within Africa. I'm giving you an example. Take, for instance, Ethiopian Airlines. This is what they do. If you board a plane as a Nigerian or any part of the world, but I'm focusing on Nigeria, on Ethiopian Airline, they will make sure that your plane stops one way or the other in Ethiopia. So in other words, you have booked a flight, let's say to London, to and fro. They're going to make sure you stop at Ethiopia and then you move to London. And when you're back, you do the same thing. Now, this is what they do. This is how we perceive this to be a scam. We have these report of a particular, this is a specific case of a Nigerian, a young Nigerian international. This is someone we all know here in Abuja. He lives in the FCT. He is a member of various international organizations. He took a flight from Mauritius to Abuja. Now they stopped him at Ethiopia. So when they stopped him at Ethiopia, they canceled the flight and said the flight will be tomorrow. So in other words, they have turned you into a tourist, whether you like it or not. Because in that way, you're going to have to visit their city. You're going to pay their hotel bill. You're going to spend some money there. Right? And now they did that. By the next day, the young man returned to the airport and they told him boarding has closed. They said, hey, my flight is still there. Look, they said, no. They made him stay for the second day. On the third day, they told him he didn't have a visa to be in Ethiopia and they need $3,500 from him. And right now, as we speak, they've been keeping that young man for the past a week or thereabouts. And this is what they do to Nigerians on a daily basis. You have no business with their country. They get you into that country, make you appear an illegal immigrant, and because they believe all Nigerians have money, they extort. You know, and this young man says, I'm not paying that because I wasn't coming to your country in the first place. If you didn't delay my flight, then I wouldn't have been here at all. So you created the scenario. So how can you create a scenario and you want me to pay for it? Now, how about all the hundreds of other people who paid? How about businessmen who are just in a hurry and they say, we need $10,000, we need $5,000. So this is unacceptable. And if you're not able to produce this money, you rot in jail in their country as an illegal immigrant.
But Dr. Piper,
in Africa. And this is Ethiopia, the gateway to the African Union. They have signed so many treaties. Now, what gives them the impetus to treat Nigerians like this?
Well, I was going to ask, I mean, where is the place of the ambassadors, of Nigerian ambassadors to Ethiopia? I mean, some persons would believe that this is where they should step in and do the needful.
Let me state the facts. That day before yesterday, I personally hand-delivered a letter to the ambassador, Ethiopian ambassador, right here in Abuja. No response. Because they have no respect for you as a country. They don't give a damn about you. Now let me tell you this.
Dr. Piper, the language.
Oh, sorry. No, but they just don't care. They don't care. You know? Now let me tell you this again about Ethiopian Airline. If you book a flight from Abuja to London, check how much they charge you. Then go to Benin, same Ethiopian airline, and book a flight from Benin to London, you'll pay half the price.
No, I'm trying to understand. So if I booked a flight from Benin to London,
you are going to pay half the price
of what I'll be paying
if you book Ethiopia. From Nigeria to London with the same Ethiopian airline.
Wow.
So it's as if we are being singled out. We are being targeted. And this, we are not begging our government to do anything about it. We are doing something ourselves about it. We have told the Ambassador Dr. A young Pierre Omasheye, if you don't release him by today or tomorrow, illegal immigrants, if we don't see them by tomorrow in Abuja or Lagos, we are marching straight to the Ethiopian embassy. And we'll be asking the federal government to send the ambassador of Ethiopia out of our country.
I mean, it's high time things.
We need him
changed,
to explain.
Right?
We have case studies of these people. How can you be doing that to our citizens? They are milking our citizens at their airports. The immigration of Ethiopia, the immigration authority in Ethiopia, can you imagine that? We're not talking about a developed Western world doing this. It's Ethiopia. Delta State is probably richer than the government of Ethiopia. So why the hell are they doing this? It's unacceptable. You know, you keep talking about, you know.
Let's go with that. So that's on the one part.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said it's going to be a double or two-pronged, outing today.
Yes. We're beginning first with the headquarters of the Nigerian police.
Why?
We are going to ask questions as civil society groups. We want the Nigerian police to enlighten us, to tell us if it is true what we are hearing about the actual amount that policemen are paid as gratuity, or if it is a rumor. Because now I want to ask you, Uduak, if I ask you to work for me for 35 years of your life, and within this 35 years, I'll just be giving you some stipends, some little change, here and there to take care of yourself. Then after
2 to 5 million.
2 to 5 million.
That's what
naira.
you give me.
That's what I'll give you if you work for
years.
me for 35 years. Will you accept?
I'll have to set up my business because I can't. I won't.
That is exactly what the Nigerian policemen are getting.
Wow.
And that's why we're going to the police headquarters. We want them to come out and explain to civil society if that is true. And if that is true, then I will put it to everyone that you are setting up a system of corruption, which means you are enabling this policeman to become corrupt. In fact, you are giving the Nigerian police no other option, no other means of livelihood except corrupt practices, which means you do not even have the moral right to question the integrity of a Nigerian police if this is exactly what you're doing to them. So we are marching this morning peacefully, of course, to the headquarters, of the Nigerian police in Abuja. And we want to ask them publicly and openly if that rumor is true. And if it is true, then, yeah.
Well, according to the information that we got in our grasp, about 3 days ago, we saw on the front page of Nigerian newspapers where some retired police officers have lamented that their pensions and gratuities paid under the Nigeria Police Force contributory pension scheme are meager and unjust. In fact, they also decried the disparity in retirement benefits between retired personnel and their counterparts in the military, accusing the government of absolute neglect. Right? Now, what is the amount that is expressed now? This is more like 35 years of service to the country. Their total benefits amount to only 2 million naira.
35 years of service for 2 million. A trader in Wuse Market makes that in perhaps 3 or 4 hours. And that's what someone is going to work 35 years for, serving this country.
It's beginning to get
abominable.
Get us to thinking that maybe we should indeed maybe pat the police in the back for all these years of silence.
Absolutely. And let me tell you why the problem is so serious. The Nigerian police cannot protest because it is statutory. They can't protest. They cannot go on strike because whatever they do will be termed mutiny. Now, listen to that word in the dictionary, mutiny, a beautiful word that means a very awful thing. It means that you will be oppressed and you must remain mute. It means no matter what they do to you in that uniform, you must remain mute. And if you open your mouth to speak, you are guilty of mutiny and you will be dealt with. Now, I think that is scandalous, to speak the least, and
Right.
should not be acceptable. So we, the civil society organizations, we are protesting on behalf of members of the Nigerian police force. We are protesting on behalf of their wives and husbands. We are protesting on behalf of the children of these men who can't attend good schools. You are a policeman in Abuja and you are an inspector or ASP. Except you are corrupt, your child cannot attend any of the good schools in Abuja, because you have schools that are charging between 1 million to 3 or 5 million per term. So in 3 terms, that is 9 million, and you're going to pay me 2 million if I work for you 35 years. How do I send my children to good schools? It means the system is deliberately designed. It is set up to produce corrupt officials, so you blame them for their corruption when in truth you set them up to become corrupt.
Right. Well, it is also worth, to put it out there that there is a need to state the fact that international law permits sovereign states to enforce visa rules, be that as it may. Right? Such enforcement must be in line with universal human rights standards, including due process, proportionality, and respect for dignity. Now, the arbitrary confiscation of a Nigerian passport and the coercion of cash payment violates multiple international instruments, including the African Charter and Human and People's Rights. And it does is so clear that Nigerians have suffered this mostly in silence, and we will not maintain that culture of silence anymore.
Daniel, they have no respect for the Nigerian passport. That's why we are upset.
But Dr. Piper,
imagine Ethiopia has no respect for Nigerian passport. The moment they are the ones who they technically make you become an illegal immigrant in their country, because first you had no intention of ever visiting their country, and then they take your passport away from you. The passport is a Nigerian passport. So why take away our passport from us when you carefully lured us into becoming illegal immigrants in your country?
So it's not because we stole, not because we did anything, just like that.
Yes, because you make sure that Ethiopian airline must make a stopover. Let me bring it in a way where everyone can understand.
Right.
Assuming you are joining Peace Mass Transit, or let's say Peace Air, and you want to go from Lagos to Kaduna, and they insist they must stop in Lagos. So when they stop in Lagos, they now put you in another flight to take you to Kaduna, right? Now, if they stop you in Lagos, they tell you, well, sorry, we don't have a flight to take you in Kaduna now. Huh? No, I don't know if you're following my...
Okay, you said from Lagos.
No, sorry, if you
Kaduna.
take from Lagos to Kaduna, then they have to stop you in Abuja.
Okay, now that's clear.
Good.
That's
so
clear.
if they stop you in Abuja,
Yeah.
they want you maybe to go spend the night in Sheraton. So maybe they stop you in Abuja and say, sorry, we cannot proceed to Kaduna right now. So, meanwhile, there's a very good hotel. You're going to love the town. So they believe you have money because you're coming in from Lagos. So you're going to spend the night in Sheraton and make money for them. And when you return in the morning, they tell you, okay, now we're ready to go to Kaduna. Right? You've already spent money in Abuja.
Yeah.
So this is what the Ethiopian airline is doing. Yes.
With Nigerians.
With Nigerians. So if you're coming from any other country to Abuja, they take you to Ethiopia and try to make sure you spend 1, 2, or 3 days there. Remember, you don't have a visa. You never wanted to visit their country. And at the end of the day, they snatch your passport from you and begin to call you an illegal immigrant and begin to demand money from you in thousands of dollars. And if you can't give them the money, they send you to jail. We want to know how many Nigerians are in their prison cells. We are hearing the names of so many people. We want their ambassador to come out and explain to us why treat Nigerians with such disrespect.
Okay, well, what do we hope to achieve in the end of all of this? After all of this, what is the achievement? What are we hoping to see?
we want to be respected as civilians. The highest position of the land is not the position of the president, it is not the position of the governor, it is not the position of the local government chairman, it is not the position of any police soldier or whatever. It is the position of the citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Right.
Because the president is working for you, the armed forces are working for you, the policemen, whatever, they're all working for you. We are civil society organizations. We are the owners of this country. So when we talk, that when we come out boldly to say the civil society organizations, you should understand what we're talking about.
All right.
We are major stakeholders in our country, and we will not tolerate this measure of disrespect of people working as policemen for our country or citizens carrying our country's passport, traveling internationally.
Right. Well, you already heard it from Dr. Piper right here. I mean, it seems as though we'd like to see, some of those videos, some of those stuff, we know and we follow up on this, because the truth is, Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja has been big about, the life of a Nigerian, if not anything. I mean, we've seen the killings here and there. Benue, for example, we've seen Plateau State, we've seen arbitrary killings and deaths, and now it almost seems as if everybody bats, nobody bats an eye. Nobody turn the other eye.
I call this the normalization of atrocities.
Wow.
They have made atrocious acts become normal. So for want of word, I call it the normalization of atrocity, the normalization of criminality, the normalization of stupidity. So things that used to awe us in the past, things that we will hear before and we say, wow, how can a human being do this? We have gotten used to it. So they have successfully muted our emotions. They have muted our sensitivity to tragic things. So we can see killings of 200 and something people in a single day, and after a few days it's no longer an issue. We can hear about anything happening and then it's no longer an issue. They are reducing our collective humanity. They want us to lose our humanity and become and descend into the state of animality, and the civil society organizations will not let that happen.
All right. Well, you already heard it. Tomorrow, hopefully, Dr. Piper, we should have this conversation already. It's been in the pipeline for discourse. So at 9 o'clock, we are seeking your presence. And even if possible, those, when they do return, our brothers and sisters who are in Ethiopia, when they do return, we would like them to also be in the studio to give
I promise you, Uduak Daniel, that as I leave the station right now, I'm headed straight to the police headquarters. I'm heading straight to all those in authority to speak my truth.
Right.
And if these people are released, we will go to the airport to look at them, to find out their physical and mental state, to inquire if they were tortured in any way or if their fundamental human rights were violated, and I can guarantee we'll bring them to the studio.
I think it shouldn't also stop at, just releasing them, because as many Nigerians are calling for proper compensation and
Absolutely.
a stop to the act.
Absolutely.
To the act.
And we want to know how many Nigerians are held captive in Ethiopia as illegal immigrants when they never applied for immigration in Ethiopia.
Honestly, I think this is going to be sprung up, quite a number of things that we did not know. But Dr. Piper, thank you far too kind, stepping into the studio, having this conversation with us on a very topical issue that is very crucial, very critical to the very existence of this country called Nigeria. And we hope that we find light at the end of the tunnel as we go on this one.
Thank you very much.
Right.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right, stay tuned. It is still Eagles Morning Rises Breakfast Show. We tell you that, hey, your voice counts on here, and we give you an audio-visual radio experience that you can count on anytime, any day. You've got messages, you've got things that you want to contribute to the discourse. Head out to the social media platforms right there on Facebook and YouTube and get a grasp and glimpse to what the discourse has been this morning. We looked at the civil protests erupting over Nigeria, police welfare, and the mistreatment of Nigerians in Ethiopia, as well as other related, issues. It's a lot. Udwag Daniel is my name.